Are you looking for true personal freedom? The freedom to design a life you truly desire? Then you're absolutely in the right place. True personal freedom comes from when you take 100% responsibility and control of your money and your mind. Here you're going to learn ideas, tips, and wisdom that's going to help you bridge the gap from where you are now to your dream life in the future. My name is Randy Wilson, and welcome to the Rich Mind Podcast. Hi there, and welcome back to the Rich Mind Podcast. And today, I want to talk about a topic that was very early in my personal development journey, something that I discovered through Earl Nightingale, which was one of the original mentors in the world of personal development. The program that I was exposed to, and I learned this in the book, the Retire Young, Retire Rich book, by Rich Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. Inside that book, he talked about the program Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale. And Robert described in that book that this program, Lead the Field, was very important in his journey to gaining personal freedom, financial freedom, all of the great things when it comes to designing a great life. So when I heard that, I decided that I was going to go out and buy the program right away. This was before audio downloads. This was before, wasn't pre-internet, but it was very early in the internet time frame. So I probably discovered this around the 2007, 2008 time frame. And so this was a CD program that I went out and bought. I found it online, ordered it right away, and had it delivered to the house. I jumped into that program and listened to it multiple times. This is something that if you don't have it currently in your library, you need to get it. It's not something that you have to go physically buy anymore. You can get the audio downloads. I've actually listened to the MP3 downloads now often as well. But the CD version, I went through and I burned through multiple copies, at least 2 copies of the same CD program. I listened to it so often that I had to repurchase it again over and over. And in the first message that Earl shares, which is what I want to share with you today, he talks about the magic word. And with this word, when you internalize it and apply it into your daily life, has the ability to completely change your circumstances in your outside world. And when I first heard this, it's a word that you're familiar with, but I hadn't heard it in the way that he described. And so I will do the best that I can here today. But the magic word was attitude. Attitude is the magic word. And he goes on to describe how the importance of having a proper attitude in everyday functions of your life will become the reflection of what you get back from the outside world. So how you show up in your current reality, in your current job, within your current family, amongst your friends, with every situation that you deal with, your attitude towards that event of what's happening is going to be a very big determining factor whether or not you're going to have a positive outcome or a not so positive outcome. So what happened for me was when I heard this and I listened to this program in this one chapter about attitude over and over and over, and I tried to internalize what he was meaning, how he was saying it. So what I had done is that when I discovered this, the portion of my story when I did was that my retail job I was fed up with. I didn't necessarily care for life at that point. I was working and grinding, and a retail life, it was a lot of hours. I was commuting an hour each way on top of a minimum of a 10-hour day. Most of the times it turned into a 12 or 14-hour day. I really was miserable. And because of that, I was showing up, as I discovered through some personal development of myself, right? So some self-discovery, with a bad attitude. And it was bad. It was very bad. I was showing up bad for my customers. I was showing up bad for my employees. And when that did that, I would then come home and show up bad for my wife. And I was showing up bad for my kids. I was not a great example whatsoever. So, what I had decided to do with this information of attitude was to, number one, recognize what he meant, recognize that I was actually showing up with a bad attitude and that I had the ability, because the power was within me, to change it. So I decided to change it. I decided to show up to the best of my ability with as much of a positive attitude as I possibly could with every situation that I was encountering. Now, I'm not going to say that this was easy, because it was not. This was something that I had to work on daily. And I started small. So what I did is I was learning these programs and listening to this content back and forth to work. I would mentally, in my mind, think before I entered either the store or whatever experience I was getting ready to do. I would make sure that I checked what my attitude was at that moment. And I did everything I possibly could to make myself be in a positive, outgoing life through my thinking, through my thoughts. I wasn't going to allow my outside circumstances totally dictate what was going on inside of me. With that, things began to change, and they began to change relatively quickly. I can remember opportunities started to arise. Meaning, when I was in my retail position, all I wanted to do was get my time back. I needed to get what I was discovering through my journey of my financial education, my self-education, and personal development, was that I needed more time, because I was devouring this content and I realized I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get more. To do that, I needed more time. My 12, 14-hour days in the retail world wasn't cutting it. By changing my attitude, an opportunity arose that I wouldn't have had I not been in a better mindset before that. And what that was a sales position with a vendor of mine. It actually was with the Coca-Cola company. I actually became a sales rep for them. With that, I was able to get my time back. I actually got weekends off. I actually had evenings off. I was so excited just for the fact that I was able to get a lot of this time back that I needed. And so with that time, then I dove in deeper. I read more books. Podcasts were starting to come out. I was devouring podcasts like there's no tomorrow. I can listen to podcasts at 2 times speed, and my wife says that I'm listening. It sounds like chipmunks, but I've trained myself to listen and hear content at a very quick pace. I'm actually kind of curious to hear what it sounds like myself in 2 times speed, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways, with the change of my attitude, the opportunity of the sales position, because I was going to be out talking to other store managers, to the community, to if I had not had the proper attitude, that opportunity would never have been presented to me. I still had to go interview for the position. I had to sell myself to the people within Coca-Cola that I was the right person for the job. And I know for a fact, had I not gone through this experience of correcting and getting myself in a better mindset through my attitude, that opportunity would not have came about. So fast forward even further, I continued to focus on my attitude. And I'm not saying I have a great attitude every day, because there's days that you just don't feel great, right? And we'll talk about a lot of those things in upcoming episodes. But when I notice that I'm not feeling great, I then take back control through trying to find out through my attitude what I can do to change it, to change my experience almost instantly now. It's gotten to the point now where I can almost change my experience, whether it be with the people that I'm with or where I'm at, almost on an instant basis, which is a lot of fun. It's taken a lot of work, and you can do it too. And that's what I want to be here to encourage you to do that. So with those experiences, I've taken it into when I've gotten into different rooms. bigger rooms, folks that are challenging me to think bigger, be bigger. And I've taken this mindset of attitude and challenging myself to have a positive attitude, to show up and give as much as I possibly can to these groups and to these rooms, and meeting new people, making new friends, which is creating even more opportunities, and on and on and on. Am I where I want to be? Nowhere near. But I know that I'm on the right journey when I take control of my mind. I learned that self-education, I learned that attitude is the magic word. And I want to thank Earl. He has passed, he's been gone for quite some time, but his program, Lead the Field, was something that has totally changed my life. It's changed my family's life. It's changed my friend's life, to the fact where I'm able to show up and be a better person for them on a daily basis. So I encourage you today, find your mentors. If it's Earl, great. Find Lead the Field. That's where I would start. Just dig into the content. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to it over and over and over. Try to think of ways how what he's talking about you can relate into your own life, and then apply. Take action. See if you can make some things happen positively for you, and that is going to spur you on to do more, because that's exactly what it did for me. As I was getting positive results, I was like, okay, let's keep doing this, right? So I kept doing more, which created more results. As I mentioned, it's not a straight line up. Life is a roller coaster. I've had downs and I've had some ups, but I will say that I'm in a better trajectory now because of this education, the self-education that I've put myself through over the last few years. Go out there, make it a great day. Focus on your self-education. Focus on personal development. Focus on learning some financial education, and go out there and design the life that you truly desire. So go out there and take control of your life. Take control of your mind. Learn to take control of your money. And then learn to go out there and design the life that you truly desire. You really can do it. And I hopefully that this word, attitude, will be part of something that builds into something greater for you moving forward. So until next time, have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you real soon. Thank you now. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on the Rich Mind Podcast. I hope you found a ton of value in this episode. If so, I'd really appreciate a 5-star review, and you can also share it with your family and friends. And as my mentor Jim Roden shared with me, in order to have more, you must first become more. And in order to become more, you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So go out there today and work harder on yourself to become more and build the life of your dreams. Until next time, my friends.